It's the time for a massive package from China. Let's enter the Pandora jungle. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video we are going to take a close look at the RRTV Gamebox High Definition Home Game Machine. I just need to point out that the product has been sent in for purpose to review and it doesn't influence my personal opinion. I must say I wanted to review this thing because this is the most weird looking Pandora's box I have ever seen. You can see it already on the box that this thing comes with two controllers that are an arcade stick. These things look really weird, so I was curious what are we going to get, so let's start unboxing. Action! Let's open it up and let's see what are we going to get for nice goodies inside. So first of all, the packaging itself, I really like it. So you don't need to be afraid that it's going to get broken. But nevertheless, we're going to get a VGA cable. We don't going to need this anymore. We're going to get this old school, I think that was called the LPT cable. And we're using that back in the 80s, 90s for connecting a printer or a scanner. Quite interesting to see this now here for a Pandora's box. Power supply, 12 volt, HDMI cable, USB cable, the toilet paper manual, and this is the thing. So basically, finally, I got these controllers. I mentioned them when I was reviewing the fake Capcom Home Arcade stick. And of course, you're going to get the power cable and some spare buttons. But what is interesting with the spare buttons, here we can see what kind of quality. So they are more like the fake, I would not say Senwa, they got quite a long travel. They are translucent or like see-through, how you want to call them. But you can see that they're quite decent buttons. And I can't stop doing this, man. I love it. They feel good. Ooh, and there is even a second spare one. Ooh. Okay, so I was so curious to see what are we going to get with these controllers. But first, let's take a close look at the Toilet Paper Manual Deluxe Edition. And I must say they got some good information about it, how to set it up, how everything works. They did a really good job this time. You know, having the two packaging is more like the normal Pandora's box. Information about the main board that we're going to talk about. What kind of specs we're going to get with that one. So in overall, quite interesting. Let's take a close look at the joystick itself. Okay, so this is one of the reasons I wanted to review this thing, because this is the most weirdest Pandora's box I have ever seen in my life at the moment. And I must say that I'm a little bit surprised by it, due of the shape especially. So first of all, that to take one thing in consideration is that this thing is fully made of plastic. So normally what you're going to get with these Pandora's box, like especially the two-player editions, that these things have like a metal shell, weight quite a lot, but this time it doesn't. So at the back you can see that they're going to get 4 of these suction knobs, and they are a little bit bent. They work very well, but let's open it up because there are some weird things with this Pandora's box. Oh, and to make it clear, basically one contains the main board, this one, but this is more like an empty shell where some suction knobs and the button and the joystick. And you connect them with the old LP cable already shown you before. Weirdness. Alright, so I have opened up many Pandora's boxes, but this is more like the most basic way it can get, because we only need to remove a couple of these sparkers, and we guess you can flip it open. Okay, let's be very gentle. And this is how it frigging looks from the inside. So this is a quite interesting thing in my opinion. What I think is very strange that the thing have here a battery compartment. So here we can find a battery compartment. It's not in use of course, but normally I think you're going to get here a PCB or a control unit for the wireless part. So the Pandora's box most are not inside, but we're just going to get like a receiver. And nevertheless, I did have like a review about the Pandora's box sticks, and I think it's a similar idea. Okay, so here we're having the speaker itself, it's just our typical speaker, but They forgot to put in a Parker over here, and this one has been screwed in, but it seems to be that it's not holding the speaker. A little bit of a bummer in my opinion. So here we're having the connector for player number 2. And player number 2 has been connected basically with the same connector like always with the Pandora's box, and that thing is over there. So what you're going to get is part of the controls of player 1 have been connected over here, and it goes all the way up there with the buttons and the joystick, and part has been split up and goes into this control board with the LPT connection and will connect with the second controller. So over here we can replace the joystick if you don't like it. This is more like the basic semi-clone, and even the piece of acrylic for protecting the buttons over here. But if you want to, you can basically also swap those out too. But let's chit chat regarding this main board and what are the specifications and what are we actually going to get produced. Now I can tell you that no, it isn't. When you're looking at the date when this PCB was produced, it's 2019-11-08. So it's quite funny. So I was thinking, okay, so this board is old. When you take a close look at the sticker, you can see they basically slapped a sticker over a sticker. So this means one thing, they're just relabeling old main boards, and I'm guessing they are more like putting different software or a new interface on it. Yeah, so that's what they are doing. We're having here the Wi-Fi chip for the Wi-Fi capabilities. They put some hot glue this time on it, on the connection, so it's very good. So if you're having problems, you can always check this. But let's do a removal of the fan, because I'm curious, what is the chip beneath this thing? It's kind of funny and sad that they just slapped more like a piece of thermal paste on this. Okay, let's take a close look at the chip, because oh man, I can really see it. This is not that great. But I'm not surprised to see that they're still using this AM Logic chip. Is the S812. I will move it around so you can read it on the video. So it's basically the same chipset like the Pandora Games 3D, for example. So is this ADS really new? Not really. And the same goes for the RAM over here. 4 chips in total. If I'm saying it correctly, it's 2 GB of RAM capacity. So over here we're going to get the CF card. This is 128 GB. So we're looking at the sticker, it says also 128 GB. But in total, it seems to be having 8,000 games. So damn it, that's a lot. But how about the controls and the quality? Already mentioned that the buttons, they're more like cheap knockoff buttons from China that you can expect in most of these devices. Oh, I must point out that sometimes you're going to sell these things with real Sama buttons. But overall, I must say, I like the touch. It's quite a long travel button. The joystick, already mentioned, it's a Sama clone. But most of the time they are just decent enough to enjoy for playing some games. But let's take a close look at the connections. The connections are all the same like all those Pandora's boxes I've reviewed. VGA, HDMI input power over the 12 volt, the adapter. We're having here the audio out, volume control, setting button, and of course we're having here 2 USB ports, and only the top version, if I'm saying it correctly, can be used for extra controllers. So if you want to play with 4 players, it is possible with this version. And here we're having a very cheap switch, but this is for on and off. Okay, I want to point out we're having this strange USB cable. If you plug it in the back, what I already told you, like with the controllers, you can actually use this thing like a controller on PC and some other systems. Just want to briefly point it out. But what I really like about it are the light up buttons. Okay, so let's boot up the system and let's take a close look at it, what you're going to get, and is it actually decent enough to enjoy. Small preview over there. All the way up, this is the all list. So all the games are basically in this list slapped together. We have a categorized system. This device has support for PSP, Sega Dreamcast, PlayStation 1 and 64, NES, Super NES, Game Boy Classic, Color and Game Advance. They still didn't fix the Mega Drive with the Xbox 360 logo. Sometimes they fix it, sometimes they don't. It's kind of weird. We're having here the PC Engine. So we're having a lot of different systems that can run on it, and also the MAME stuff. So I'm very curious how are the performance of the board. I think I already know. For the people who didn't know, I don't know. Let's try some again. And it will run like shit. Let the frame drop begin. I must say this time it is not that bad. But still, it glitches from the select screen.
Get ready, fight!
I have seen some shitty emulation, but this is not that bad in my opinion. Stay down. Next up. But you can see that we're going some weird stuff with the brightness. So when he came in more like going all brightness up and then it goes down. It's not like it should be. See, this is what I mean, man.
Adventure. Don't forget to take advantage of
Okay, so let's see how this game is running. So I have just noticed that the brightness is not like it should be. It's kind of weird.
Let the battle begin. Go!
I have no idea which button to use. All the buttons are messed up. Ah, found them. Ow. Good speed, messy emulation.
Only the strongest will be chosen.
Can you see the darkness of the abyss?
I'm not afraid anymore.
Battle 1. Fight! Bring out! Battle 2. Fight!
Raiden. But so far so good. Let's see how the joystick works. Oh, for a Sonic clone it's not bad. Absolutely, flawless victory. Okay, let's take a close look at the settings. The settings not really special when you're looking at all the Pandora's box I've reviewed. For the people who didn't know, we're having key settings, coin, exit mode. You can set it to, let's say, pressing start and coin, long press menu. We're having auto exits, so if you don't play the game, we said later, after 3 minutes it will be automatically go to the main menu. You can disable it if you want to. Select mode, image optimization, it was set to HD when I was playing, so main. And to be honest, I just like to put it on disabled. There is no aspect ratio. And in my opinion, there is not a lot of stuff that is new to this. So we're having here game settings, and it does basically the same stuff like removing games, adding games, but you can't add games because we need a program for that. But I must say that this is just the weirdest Pandora's box version I have ever seen, man. It's more like this plastic fantastic casing. It looks like a joystick, but it is more like an arcade stick. I don't know what they wanted to do with this form factor. And overall, the main board is the same experience that I had with all the other Pandora's box, like especially the Pandora game 3D. There is not really something new here. It's a different name, different relabeling, but then overall the performance are okay. When it comes to the high-end stuff, you will see a lot of stuttering problems and a lot of, let's say, experiences you don't want to have. So a little bit of a bummer. You can improve it here and there with Pandora tool. Well, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit the bell, become one of the Wicked family, and I will see you in the next video.